Oop. Oh, there
I
we
guess
go.
there's one thing I need to do. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Oh, thanks, Nick.
He asked me if I was ready like 15 times, and I said, yeah.
I got my sound turned on too.
I always forget these, though.
Ooh, that was a rough start. All right.
I like
Yeah.
this. Natural, organic.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another live SEO support, your favorite SEO Q&A live stream with your two favorite SEOs in the world, Christopher Gegis and Nicholas Altimore. Nicholas Altimore on the right-hand side with the mega stash.
Going by Nasty Nick this week. At
Nasty
least
Nick.
this week. Maybe a bit longer.
If you like Nasty Nick's mustache, please like, comment, and subscribe, and
Oof.
join us on
That one's
Facebook.
gonna break the feed. That's gonna be a lot of likes coming up.
And join us over on Facebook at the SEO Roundtable. We're in there every single day answering questions and posting tips and all that good stuff. Nasty Nick, that is, I like the mustache. You're looking, I think Nasty Nick's a very fitting name. You're looking like a nasty little
It's
feller.
funny because off of live stream, he said he most certainly did not like the mustache. Okay.
I
So,
didn't say
there's
that.
a lack of authenticity going on here,
I didn't
Chris.
say that. I think I said something like, "Oh God."
Why do you look like that? Which, I mean, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, you're right. You didn't quite say it.
It was just jarring. It startled me.
Hmm.
I don't know what you looked
David,
like
it's
last
coming
week,
out
but it
here
wasn't like
pretty
that.
soon. Oh, sorry.
What's going
We
on?
just we got some comments already. David was asking when I'm
Uh,
guessing the case study is coming out,
we were,
and very soon.
yeah, we were actually just talking about that, and it could be as early as tomorrow. Really hoping by the end of this week for sure. I don't really see any reason why it won't be out by the end of this week, so tomorrow or Friday. Um, yeah, and I think we're going to keep it as something that our subscribers only get at first. People that have subscribed to our mailing list. So if you're not already, go ahead and head over to our site, or you could just wait till it goes out, and we'll have a little page for you where you can subscribe to our email list. We'll probably keep it like that, maybe 2 weeks, maybe even a month. I don't know. We've never really done something like this before, and then we'll be
As you
posting.
know, for being such exquisite marketers, we're terrible at marketing ourselves. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the
We'll be
show.
posting half of the case study on our website, but only the link building half. But yeah, I think you'll have to be subscribed to get the full case study, which covers a ton of other stuff like keyword research, uh, monetization, on-page content, pretty much like everything from the ground up, right? Um, yeah, so yeah, hopefully we'll have that out by tomorrow or Friday.
And yeah, the email list is what we're talking about specifically, right? Or YouTube as well.
No, just the email list.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the email list. Sorry. Um, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll get to you. Otherwise, in the last email that we sent out on our email list, I said for people to send us their websites if they wanted an audit on Livestream. So we're actually sitting on a bunch of audits right now. I was kind of hoping we weren't going to get this many because they're pretty intense and they can take a good amount of time. So we're gonna have to go through them a little bit quicker than normal.
Do we
Um,
have any like back burner questions that were really quick that I know I talked to
I don't.
somebody about a quick question
Oh, I
in the
gave them
group?
another. I pointed them to some
You
of
got
our.
the answer?
Yeah, I
Okay,
gave them
nice.
some videos to watch because I knew we were going to be pretty busy on today's stream. But if you
Cool.
guys are watching live, we'll definitely get to your questions too. Just hang in there. We're going to do a couple side audits real quick, and then we'll squeeze in some other questions maybe in the middle, and then probably do some more side audits depending on how fast or slow they're going. All right. So first of all, let's see here. You go ahead and get this set up. Just give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
I went ahead and drank some pre-workout this morning, thinking I had enough time to work out, and I didn't. And now I'm sitting here with my heart racing, um, you know, trying to remain as calm as possible.
Hey, you got it, man.
I,
Don't you just
I
hang in
don't think this
there,
is
right?
this isn't healthy, you know? If I jump up and start doing jumping jacks, you know why.
All right, Nick. I'm gonna PM you the first site so you can look on your computer too. And let me just pull up Ahrefs real quick, and then we'll give you guys something to look at while we're kind of looking through stuff since we can't really show it live. I think Ahrefs is changing more stuff up. I've noticed it a few times. I just haven't had the time to really look into it. Like I noticed they were using purple to show DR on the new overview page.
Is there still a pretty large gap between what the new page is showing, like the new overview, and the old one? Let's see. I haven't checked that in a while. I always just skip back to the old overview, creature of habit.
Yeah, I do too.
Or I might start using this. Like it does look like.
I mean, they're eventually gonna probably make us switch to it, but
Yeah.
it just seemed like it needed to be a little more fleshed out. All right, so let's go ahead and get this one started. It says a complete automotive site. So it's in the automotive niche. Been growing month on month until it got hit during the last May update. So it's quite some time ago, and lost more traffic in the September core updates. I'm still doing stuff to make it back to strength and growing. What do you think? So yeah, go ahead and take a look. And this is what the site looks like in Ahrefs. So you can see it had over 100,000 traffic, which is quite a bit. You know, it's a pretty beefy site. And yeah, it looks like it got hit real hard in, what do you say, in May? Yeah, in May. It went from about 116,000 traffic to about 78,000. So that's, yeah, definitely a big chunk. But you didn't lose everything, you know? So that's a little silver lining right there. And then, yeah, he kind of popped back up a little bit, corrected back up about 10,000 traffic, kind of flatlined for a while and went back down again. But it actually looks like it's kind of leveling off. Keywords are still dropping, but it looks like kind of, you know, it took a little bit of a hit, but it's still kind of, you know, hanging in there.
It's kind of plateaued. It look well.
It's just not. It doesn't look like it's just like free falling, you know, or like
yeah,
kind of leveled off.
But it looks like it's having a little hard time. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So what do you want to look at first? You want to do anchors?
I reckon so.
Or do you want to look at the website?
See. I was just looking at the website actually. I mean, it looks pretty nice.
It does look nice. How big is this thing? It's got 424 URLs indexed. For the amount of traffic this site has, to only have 424 pages, that's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, pretty good it seems.
Yeah.
Not seeing a lot of interlinking in these articles that he's got here. Oh, here's some. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, overall, I mean, the site itself looks good. They've got some AdSense going. They've got the business that they're niche down in. So yeah, I mean, overall, I don't really notice anything that looks rough about the website itself.
What the articles themselves are pretty lacking. I mean, as far as just like there's not really much as far as images.
Something somebody would want.
Yeah, they're just not very. I'm trying to think about like what the algorithm would think about this. And I think the algorithm might say like there's just not many images in here. It's, you know, it's just a lot of text. Are these even H2s or are these just bullet points? I see a lot of like bullet points in here. I might pull up SEO minion on one of these articles real quick.
This just looks bold here.
All right, so that's one thing I can already tell you that I would love to see you do. Oh, no, he's got some H3s.
But yeah, I
But
mean, it's stock images, AdSense, and then walls of text. So I
yeah,
agree with you on that.
it
But
looks like you could also do more with the H tags, which is something I've done on some sites recently. Which is he's got basically an H2, and he's broken up the H2 using bullet points.
hmm
But like, why not make each of those bullet points an H3
yeah,
instead of just a bullet point with some text under it, you know? Um, you know, your H3s, your H3, you can do an H3 and have just like one sentence, like one line under it. And it's still helping Google to understand that these are little subsections of the section of, you know, the H2 or whatever. So definitely some things you could do there. Yeah, maybe more images, not stock images, you know, try to get something more unique if possible. Um, have you read the content itself?
it looked all right.
I'm seeing some interlinking going on here.
Yeah, I saw some. There was one article, the first one I landed on didn't have anything, but hmm, random can be fine as well. But overall, I mean, the site's ranking, this content is ranking, it has historically.
Mm.
So yeah, maybe look over some of the basics on with the on page, but I'm willing to bet just based on how things look here that there's probably some off page issues. And maybe I took a peek too.
Well, I mean, it could be a little bit of everything, right? I feel like that's
hmm
how it kind of goes these
Yeah.
days.
If y'all have questions about on page, there is a solid on page tutorial post that Chris put out a while back. It's a good place to start because this is the foundation of your site. If everything's perfect here, you're more secure on your ability to get up with the off-page factors.
I
So make sure
wonder,
you really,
I wonder if some of
dive
this
in there.
has to do with search intent. Like, so for example, this one page, it's like it's just about like on the URL, it's like this is about rentals for a specific thing. And then the
hmm
H1 is like this is about rentals. And then on the title tag, it's like rental reviews,
Mm.
which is two
Yeah, I'd
very
rather
different
keep
things.
review out of there. Yeah.
It's yeah, it's two very different things. Um, because like if you Google just like you know the brand name rentals, and then brand name rentals reviews, you're gonna have two completely different SERPs there. Is this something we
Yeah, I would think so.
absolutely you will? Is this something we kind of saw on one of the sites we audited last week as well, where it was like they were giving Google conflicting signals about what the page was about.
hmm
Um, and that's something we also see time after time in a lot of these algo updates is that they just refine their search intent over and over and over and over. It's like it's just repeatedly being refined and getting better, right? So
Yeah.
definitely something to look into. I'm not going to look into more pages because we're limited on time, but you know I'm seeing it on this one for sure. All right, let's go ahead and look at you on anchors or what?
Yeah, I started off on anchors.
All right, I think. Well, I'll let you go ahead and talk.
Sorry, I was looking at something in the SERPs real quick. Okay. Yeah, jumping over to anchors.
Oof.
It starts off looking somewhat interesting. Like there's a bunch of empty anchors. Let's see what these are. Maybe like image.
I excluded subdomains and got those. Well, they're still at like 80 of them. Yeah, anchors are non-natural. It really adds up to, right at the top, it's like, okay, it's looking all right. And then it's like, nope, 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 nope.
Yeah.
It really adds up to something that's very not natural. Um, Extreme levels of exact match that are
There's
being
like
repeated. Like a
some
hundred times
redirect
you've used some of
spam.
the exact match anchors. That's a lot. That's like really a lot, a lot.
And a lot of I mean, this is spammy stuff
Yeah.
that I'm looking through. Yeah. And so it looks like the same type of blasts for all these different words as well. Like,
Well, they
I
also,
pull up.
oh, sorry, I was gonna say they also have about out of 3,000 referring domains, 2,000 are Web 2.0s.
Mm-hmm.
So 2/3 of their backlink profile is Web 2.0s. You might want to
Yeah.
make sure those are taken off the anchors when you're.
Yeah, it's not what I'm looking at.
Are you looking at the backlink profile or what?
No, I'm just pulling down on anchors, like click down on referring domains for like the 92,000 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can kind of just peek through that. And every time I open one, I'm saying for every anchor, it's the same set of sites
I gotcha.
spamming these anchors.
Are they Web
And I
2.0s?
mean, I'm already down pretty far here. Let me see something.
Looks like they might have spammed out some press releases too.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, even so the Web 2.0 spam, which is all real random anchors too, has nothing to do with the niche, but that's further down. And then yeah, there's like a bunch of random redirects.
All right, you're good.
Um,
You're small on the
so
screen,
yeah,
but
jumping on to just referring domains, like even if we look in here, you'll get an indication that something doesn't look right because the highest DR domains, and this is all the way down the first page, are these kind of like authority sites: google.com, wordpress.org, apple.com, microsoft.com. A lot of these things having nothing to do with the niche itself. A lot of times you see this with like giant link blasts that you might buy on Fiverr where they're promising like 280,000 backlinks, stuff like that, and you'll get this kind of stuff happening. Now at the very bottom of that list of, I think, is 100 links, we see that they do have a BBC link, it looks like. And then a Guardian link. But even clicking that, oh, I'm guessing it's a link from a redirect. So let's see what your redirect looks like then. So we'll go up to backlinks. And actually, this might be an expired domain that they repurposed now that I'm looking at the URL again. Yeah, there's all sorts of, it's honestly even kind of hard to look through the site just because of how much spam is all
so
over the place.
I don't think we really need to look at it that much, right,
Yeah.
though?
Yeah, no, the off page is, yeah,
So
lacking.
yeah, off page does not look natural. Off page looks like a mix of maybe some natural spam you picked up in Web 2.0s, or maybe you did that yourself too, maybe you ordered it, as well as some kind of like link blasts from a bunch of basically sites that were just very low quality sites built for the purpose of selling links on Fiverr or something. Like Nick was saying, these big link blasts with a ton of sites that just post like kind of random stuff. Oh, great. The stream is off of Facebook. Let me get it going over there again. So annoying. Hopefully my internet doesn't drop again. But anyway, I guess we could tie up this video real quick. Yeah, do you have anything else to say about this one? I mean, as far as what to do,
So, yeah, what to do.
yeah, take a look at the stuff that we talked about on the site. Make the site a little bit higher quality, add in some good images, do good on-page optimization using all of your H tags and stuff, practice good interlinking. Yeah, all that can definitely help you out. And then, I think all of that's important, that all of that will help you. But I think the problem that I'm seeing here, I think the off page looks more uh, to be the culprit, but it could really be just a mix of everything, like we were talking about before. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, it's still going to be good to go tweak on-page factors just the same. If you can make your on-page as perfect as possible, there's no reason that you shouldn't go after that. But when, auditing the site and really looking through it, it's obvious that off-page looks very unnatural. Having said that, your site's doing really well relatively,
Yeah,
considering what I'm looking at, right? So before you start disavowing, before you start freaking out and anything like that, just take some of that budget and start prodding with higher end links, and kind of just see what that does. If you don't get any movement out of that over the course of, 2, 3 months, then maybe it's worthwhile to start considering something else. Maybe a disavow. However, since you've got so much traffic, even as is, I'd be real hesitant to just go in there and just completely disavow everything that you see.
mm,
Which brings me to a point, right? Which I don't think we've ever talked about, though it is a good practice. If you do get to a point where you've got no recourse of action but to do a disavow, and that's 100% the line of action you want to take, it doesn't hurt to come in and do a portion of a disavow 1 month, wait, see how that resonates, do another portion, and do it slowly. You can drip feed the links that you want to disavow as well. And it's well worth consideration, especially for a site like yours with a lot of traction in the SERPs, but also a high amount of backlinks. You want to be very cautious, because I've seen people in this position where they're like, no, we're way too spammed out. They go in, they do this massive disavow file, and boom, it tanks all their rankings. Google's smart, but a lot of times spam, can work its ways, especially in specific niches. So be cautious there.
for sure. All right, so I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up this audit, and now we'll get to one of the other ones. Let's go ahead and get to some of the questions first. We also looked like we had our first kind of like adult spam in our chat, which I've hopefully removed. I don't know if I did it right because I haven't had to do this before, but
Oh,
is it
well,
removed for
six.
you? Can you see it in there?
I can see it on yours, but let me see.
Hopefully it removed it for everybody and not just me.
Unless it's on YouTube, I don't see it.
It was on the YouTube chat.
Oh, let's see. No, I don't see it.
Cool.
Good.
All right. We're learning today. We got internet problems. We got adult spam. Awesome. All right. Let's get a couple of these small questions really quick. It says, I'm having issues with my site. Can you tell me what's going on, please, with the October update?
Feels like that's an audit.
Yeah, ServNet.
So August and September, we got nasty updates. A lot of sites
Yeah, there's a
hit
bunch
some
going on right now,
volatility.
and then
hmm
there's not really an answer as far as exactly what it was, but there's basically a bunch of stuff going on right now that everyone's still trying to kind of figure out.
I
Um,
will say a lot of sites. I've noticed it more on page factors than I have off page. A lot of sites that had a lot of supporting content that wasn't very useful. Whereas a long time ago, or well, not even that long ago, but strategically you could kind of come up with supporting content posts that would mainly just be used to link back to money pages. So they acted as supporting content and there wasn't much thought put into them. Maybe they didn't have that many words on page, etc. But a lot of those sites got hit really hard.
yeah,
So
that would
now I
be the
think,
useful content update.
mhm.
Um,
So
and Vijay, how can we create bulk AI content? That's not something that we're really that we haven't messed around with that too much yet. So we're not
okay.
going to be really experts on how to create bulk AI content. But I will say, uh, it se if you want to create a project that lasts for the long term, we would highly recommend editing the content that the AI gives you quite a bit, rather than just throwing it up unedited, which you can do and it might work for a while, but you just have to know that, yeah, some of these sites are having trouble. Some aren't, but just really depends on what you're trying to do. But we're definitely not experts on the AI content quite yet.
I think Jarvis is like one that you can use though, right? That's
Oh, was he asking
the
for
brand.
recommendation? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the main one that my buddy uses.
I think Jarvis is the main one people are using. I think you're right.
Or is it Jasper? Oh no. Yeah, Jasper.ai.
What's Jarvis then?
I don't know. I think it's from a movie or something. Yeah, Jarvis is a fictional character from Marvel. Oh yeah, it's Iron Man's robot friend.
Okay, well anyway, one of them that starts with a J.
Yeah,
Use
so
that one.
Jasper, I think is the big one. Yeah, in case you wanted to mess around.
All right, ServeNet. Yeah, join us on Facebook and okay, yeah, I'll check the link, but I've got to put you at the end of the line because we've got like a bunch of other audits that we're doing right now. So if we don't get to yours today, we might have to get to it on next stream, but we'll see. We're gonna try to go fast here. That's one down. Did we have any other short questions we can answer real quick? We got Adrian's question over here. We can answer this one. I want to include a table of contents in my larger articles for navigation. Would it be bad to have those as linked headers? You mean like anchor links? I don't know. I don't even know what a linked header is, but I'm thinking you mean like when you click the link on the table of contents, it scrolls down to the thing on your page. Do you know what a linked header is, Nick?
No, I'm rereading it for navigation. So he wants a table of contents for his larger article. Yeah, so I mean, I guess if there's a way you know of, so that you're just saying that it'll be like a table of contents row up top.
Anchor links. Okay, no, it's what I was talking about.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, that's completely fine. That doesn't that's not bad for anything. That's completely acceptable. You know, tons of sites are doing that. And yeah, having the table of contents I think is a good thing for users, and I think it probably well, I think it can help out Google a little bit as well. Yeah, can definitely do that. Any more small questions? No. Okay.
I didn't see anything on YouTube.
Let's go ahead and get to another audit. I'll send you the site again. And I'll pull it up. We'll pull up a picture for everybody to see.
I like this brand name.
Not much for a title tag on the homepage, though.
I was just thinking that.
But it's doing really well. Wonder why they want an audit. Things look great. All right, let's see what they say about it. I made everyone give me a little, make sure I don't give away anything here.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think I can, here, I'm gonna post this and I'll have to read the rest of the question elsewhere because it's got their competitors in it.
I will say this site as well as the last site, as soon as you click on a inner page, it pops up an ad before you get there. And while, I mean, like, you know, I guess it's going to depend on your conversions, which these all look like AdSense, so, you know, see in there. But on a personal note, I hate it.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, so let's see what this one says. You have to follow along with me here, Nick. It says the site has been stuck at around 45,000 sessions for the past 6 months. I believe the issue is authority since the niche is pretty competitive, but all the competing sites use a different link building strategy. For example, one competitor has nearly 50 301 redirects in the past year. Oh my God.
Cool.
There's also another competitor which was built on a large expired domain but doesn't seem to be doing much active link building. So basically, there's a bunch of like black hat stuff going on so far in the niche.
Hmm.
Other big competitors are blah, 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 and blah, 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 which are 4 times the size of my site, but don't seem to have that many more quality links. My site ranks on the bottom of page 1 and the top of page 2 for some big keywords, but I'm debating which direction to take it. Contemplating 301s, PBNs, traditional guest posts, and niche edits. Let me see his site. Okay. Cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
it's, I mean, as blog rolly as you can get with a site, especially, I mean, it's
I
doing
think
really
that's okay
well.
though.
Well, yeah, it's just, not
I,
fleshing out the
yeah,
menus, not having
that's true.
interlinking on the sidebars, not having interlink. Oh, yeah, you've got a related articles, um, one down
Is it
here
all
above
about
your
this one
AdSense.
city? It's all about the one city, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's very niche down. I think
But yeah, he
the
could,
fact that
like you
you've
were
got so many
saying,
articles.
he could do more with like theming the homepage. Like the title tag is just blah, and the categories on his menu have nothing to do with the city or anything. I just feel like you were saying, he could do a lot more to kind of like theme the site around the city to just give more relevance right at the root of everything.
Yep. Because, like for example, and we can say this, but your categories, for restaurants, it just goes to backslash restaurants, and you don't have a URL that's partial match
Well, maybe they
or
want to
exact match.
expand at some point. Maybe they're just starting with the one city.
But that's
Um,
fine. Then you still would name the category restaurants, whatever city,
yeah.
right? I mean, that's just something I would personally
Or
do
like
here
slash
because it is all
restaurant
about one
slash the
city.
city name.
Yeah, yeah, that could work too.
Um,
But for now, it's literally three main categories about the same city, right?
mm,
So maybe flesh that out a bit, especially since you don't have any relevance to the city. The permalink or the URL structure is going to tell Google the most about what a page is about. It's a huge ranking factor. So, you'd want to put that geographic relevance in there at some point, somewhere in there. Now, your articles themselves, you have done that. And so I imagine that's helping you quite a bit. So yeah, I mean, another thing is you've got, I mean, it's hard to argue it because it's working, but on a personal level, I would probably come in, I'd probably make the homepage more newspaper style, more crawlable. I would maybe do some sidebar linking and stuff, but it's hard to argue it because Ahrefs shows that it's doing well. However, it's not surprising to me that Ahrefs might say something like that, and then analytics is showing something that's a lot flatter. I was actually talking to a buddy about that the other day. Um, so, okay, from an on-page standpoint, it looks like things are relatively good, but there
yeah,
could be some tweaks in here worth squeezing out a little extra with, right?
yeah.
Um, so jumping in, overview for Ahrefs shows things doing pretty well. Over the last year, you've gone from 14,000 relative on November 1st, 21 to now 43,000. It's showing a steady improvement here in the graph. But from what you're saying, it's pretty plateaued, and it's been like that for at least 6 months, which analytics isn't, it's going to give you an accurate depiction of what's going on. Jumping into your anchors here, right out of the gate. And actually, let me go back to overview. Is this the same guy that gave us the last site to audit?
Nope, don't think so.
Really? It's so weird to me. The sites like feel the same, and then
Uh, this one, I feel like is much cleaner on the actual website, and they did a good job with their on page and whatnot, I think.
if you say so.
I mean, it's just more like it's very basic, but
it's AdSense, very basic, stock images with walls of text.
yeah, but they at least split it up with good H
Yeah, they've got
tags
some.
and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just it's cleaner.
Well, so then in the overview in Ahrefs, looking at it, you've got 756 referring domains with a DR of 13. So that stands out to me as probably not very high authority, which I think he said, right? Anchors, we come in and we see it's not quite as bad as the last one, but similar link building from spammier places. Lots of exact match from Web 2.0s again.
So about only 300 of his links are not Web 2.0s. So it's basically got 300 links. Which is still, even having a DR 13 with 300 links still does seem a little bit low, but it's not as bad that if you're looking at the number 7, almost 800 backlinks.
But yeah, so, just looking down it, would you say that anchor text profile looks natural or pretty off?
I'm going to take the Web 2.0s out. And let's see. No. It's got these very unnatural anchors that have been repeated across sites.
Yeah.
Kind of these long anchors that you see people do sometimes. It might just be like natural spam that's doing that. I don't really know. I mean, definitely, it's got it's got a good amount of URL anchors in it, but I feel like I see this sometimes too. You see these sites have a bunch of URL anchors that come along with kind of like spammy link building, along with these kind of like, I don't even know what you kind of call these anchors, but they're more like titles than anchors.
Yeah.
It's like the entire title is a anchor.
I mean, this stuff, again, it's reminiscent of when you order a big link blast from something on Fiverr. You get a bunch of stuff like this, and especially when you let them pick the anchors, or they ask you for anchors and you're not really sure what you're doing, but you've got over 1,000 referring domains with like 20 different anchors. Like, it comes out looking like this. But okay, then looking at the backlinks itself, it's still the same story. So yeah, your off page has a lot to be desired, but same as the last asset that we took a look at. Right now is a good time to prod with some authority links. So I think what you were thinking as far as ordering a higher quality link for your foreseeable campaign, that's a good recourse of action here. Obviously your site's doing well in the SERPs according to what Ahrefs says. So, even if you feel kind of plateaued in analytics, I would say it's a good time to maybe do a little bit of on-page revamping and then do higher authority links from here on out and see how prodding with that is going to work for this particular money site.
I'm just pulling up some of his competitors real quick if you want to kind of keep talking.
I mean, that's basically it, though. If your site is showing some kind of improvement, or it's kind of, at least staying in the SERPs that you're attacking, and you haven't done any authority backlinking, then that's a opportune time to do it. Yeah, because here the main thing is, again, off page has a lot to be desired.
Yeah, so just going back to what we were talking about before with the off page, we don't think it's very natural, but the site also isn't having any problems right now. So as long as you move forward and kind of move forward in a different way, I don't really see it as too big of a problem. Hopefully it's not too big of a problem, but especially considering how spammy or how aggressive and kind of black hat his competitors are. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's just like one of those
Yeah.
niches where
I mean,
Google's just
I
lets
could see
everything
this
go.
geographic region having a spammier
Yeah,
link profile just based on,
yeah.
what goes on there. And I'm picturing like just how it is walking around.
Hmm.
Um, I imagine there's a lot of spamming that goes on in the back end too.
So looking at a couple of competitors real quick. So just remember the one we looked at, he's got 756 referring domains, but it's actually 300 that are not Web 2.0s and a DR of 13, which is quite low. First competitor, DR 46, 2,000 referring domains. Second competitor, he gave us DR 43, almost 2,000 referring domains. Next competitor, he gave us DR 22, about 2.5K referring domains. So all of these sites have considerably higher DR according to Ahrefs, but also a considerably higher number of referring domains as well. So, in his question, he talked a lot about his competitors and was basically saying that all the sites seem bigger and basically a ton more backlinks built in him. And I would say that's a pretty solid assessment. When your competitors all look like they just have a ton more backlinks than you, um, it's just the nature of the game, right? I feel like there's really not much you're going to be able to do to get around that other than writing. I mean, covering a ton of articles on the niche, like it looks like you're already doing. Um, but some of these websites that you're competing against, like we talked about before, they are much more relevant. Like they have like the city like built into their domain name, like right into it. And so every backlink they're building to their website, they're just getting so much more relevance for the city than you are. I think you're actually the only one on out of all these sites that you've mentioned, you're the only one that the domain name itself isn't about that city. And I was going to say, when sites do have a lot more backlinks than you, one of the ways that you can beat them is by going hardcore with the relevance, right? Which really includes like kind of niching down the site. So even though your domain name, you don't have the city in the domain name, which I think could actually uh, it could be a big disadvantage, I think. You could still try to theme the site out more fully, but with some of the things we talked about earlier, by just like kind of theming out your homepage or making your categories more specific for that city and just building the city name into the URL structure, things like that. Um, yeah, but both of the things you said are hurdles for you, right? The link gap, the amount of links you basically need to catch up to these guys, but also the topical authority gap. You had mentioned a couple of the sites are also like double the size of your site, which is also a thing, right? Something the SEOs talk about quite a bit these days, which is basically topical authority, which is the idea is basically just writing a ton of different articles about the same kind of, just in your niche. And so if a site has double the amount of it, they essentially have double the topical authority of you. Google says, well, hey, they have a lot more information on this city than you do. So like, why should we think you're the expert over them? So you have half the amount of articles they have, and they have 4 times the amount of backlinks as you do. So it's just I don't know where I'm going with this. Basically, you're going to have to, I think, do a little bit of everything, right? If you want to catch these guys, you pump out more articles, theme your site more specific to the city, and yeah, get to building backlinks, right? Because these guys are quite a bit higher authority and than you are. But the good thing is that even though they have like 2K backlinks or whatever, their DR actually isn't that high. Their DR is like only in like the low 40s, which for a newer SEO or whatever, someone who's not really built a bunch of links before, maybe that kind of seems a little bit high, but it's really not. I feel like DR, like once your DR starts getting into like the 60s, that's when I'm like, okay, this is like some heavy duty link building here. But like the fact that they're still in the 40s, even with thousands of backlinks, means that essentially their backlinks aren't like super authoritative. So maybe a little bit of a an angle for you to work in there. Building out your authority um, might not be as hard as it seems, even though they have so many more links. I've been rambling for a while. Nick, do you have anything to say?
Another solid opportunity that you could look into, especially if this site is just going to be geared towards this specific city, maybe you're not planning on branching out at all, um, is look for a very relevant 301. Maybe something with that city in the actual URL, or with a ton of referring domains specific to that city.
You're saying
And that
find a site and 301 it to his site.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks like a good time, or it could be a good opportunity. But again, specific to that city, specific to that geographic region, since that, if that's what this website is going to be directed.
It could probably just be any kind of like local business based in that city though as well, just that has a bunch of relevance.
Yeah, it
What
has
do
a
you think?
lot of relevance. Yeah.
Because
From
they
the
talk about a
URL
bunch of different
itself
stuff on
or
the site, it's
RD.
like food,
Hmm.
travel, all this kind of stuff. So if you just get
Yeah.
some kind of a bunch of just Las Vegas stuff just pounding into there, then it could be some good for you for sure. I agree.
Hmm.
Um, and so at the very end of his question, he was asking about types of links, 301s, PBN links, traditional guest posts, niche edits. So Nick has the 301 option there. He mentioned one of his competitors has 50 301s. I think we can both say that we would not go that route, especially in 2022, maybe 10 years ago or something. But I feel like that's really asking for trouble.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at that as an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of 301s. That's pretty crazy. Um, so yeah, as far as we approach link building, we kind of like to build very like sustainable projects that could go on forever essentially, and that you would not have a hard time offloading if you ever decided to sell it.
Yeah.
And so you have a site with 50 301s or a site that's propped up by PBN links. Good luck. Good luck selling it. You're gonna have a much harder time if that's what your goal is. Um, so, our advice to you, I think, would be the same, which is you can use some PBN links, but use them as a small part of your backlink profile. We like to send a lot of PBN links to the homepage of the site, with pretty natural anchors, branded anchors, stuff like that. You could start by kind of diversifying your backlink profile a bit. So, for example, our low authority niche edits packs, our barrage niche edits packs are good for this. Uh, it's links on natural sites, on real sites, but they're super low authority, and so they're cheaper. And you can use that to essentially kind of dilute your anchor text profile and your backlink profile just to have a higher balance of natural sites in it with natural anchors compared to what it is right now. And then after that, after you do some diversification with maybe some pillow links, some diversity links, some low authority niche edits, then we're pretty much just working in, for your site, I would say just mid to high authority guest posts and edits. You can do your home pages and inner pages. Just make sure you're building a good amount to your homepage as well. Really don't skimp on the homepage. It makes ranking everything else easier. And yeah, like I was saying before, you could do some PBNs, but we use them pretty sparingly and send them mostly to the homepage to avoid looking too spammy or aggressive or whatever. But yeah, I mean that's what our advice would be. If you want to go with something more aggressive and more black hat than that, you definitely could. It's just not how we approach things for sure. But they can definitely work. But then the question is always, how long is it going to work for, right? And especially if you're going to try to sell this thing at some point, then it could definitely, yeah, create an obstacle for yourself. Anything else to add on this one, Nick?
I think we nailed it.
Cool. Um, all
Don't
right.
forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're out there and you appreciate the show. A lot of viewers out there in cyberspace today. We love to have you.
I don't think we're going to be able to get to all these audits today. Let's see if there's any
No, I
more.
think we're done with audits. Do we have just questions?
We have like at least three more audits, but I think we'll have to get to those maybe another
Yeah,
time.
they're
We'll check the stream now and see what questions we got in here.
because they take like 20 minutes at
Um,
least.
yeah, I know. They're intense. Like every time I start auditing these sites on stream, I got these like lights shining in my eyes. I always end up with like a headache.
Dude, the lights, um, I don't know about you, but usually I sit in a fairly dim lit room, and having these
Yeah.
lights on me, it's not my favorite thing.
Yeah, the lights and like looking at all this stuff and trying to do it all really fast and stuff, like large, just bunches of information just gives me a headache.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got here. Backlinks from forums, not in the same niche, where the thread for the topic is related to the niche. Are they helpful and good? Yeah, sure. The whole forum doesn't have to be specifically about your niche. If they have a post on the forum and the post has to do with your niche, then it can absolutely make sense. Um, for example, forums are communities of people. So let's say you're on a car forum and it's a Corvette forum or something for people that own Corvettes. And let's say they're based out of a certain city, Corvette meetups in Los Angeles or something. And then, are you there, Nick?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, you're being really still. I thought you were frozen.
No, sorry.
And then,
It's okay.
so Corvette forum, they do meetups and stuff. And then someone could make a post that's just about like, well, hey guys, where's like your favorite place to eat in the summertime by the beach or something? That's something guys with Corvettes would do and talk about in Los Angeles, right? And so they could then
For
be
sure.
adding links to restaurants in there. So it's a restaurant getting a link from a Corvette forum. And, at first glance, you say, well, that's not relevant, but that's absolutely relevant.
Yeah.
The internet is not as cut and dry as a lot of people make it out to be. Once they learn about backlink relevance, they go so hardcore with it. They like their brain goes out the window and they forget like what the
Yeah.
real world looks like.
It's got to be relevant. It's out of my niche. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're not thinking straight.
So, as long as the thread on the forum makes sense, it can absolutely be relevant and be a good link. I will say though that if the entire forum was about it, I feel like I would like that link better. but
Yeah.
but absolutely, it does not have to. The whole forum doesn't have to be about it. It can just be the thread, like you were saying.
Well, and even in cases where like the forum is high authority, which some of these forums are pretty hard to get access to, especially links on them. Like a well-kept forum is going to be, you've got to be pretty active on those forums in order to get those links. And I think, Google's smart enough to know which one of those forums are a bit harder to get on than other ones that get spammed out with links, right? And Tom the plumber might be a plumber by trade. His website might be all about that niche, but Tom might love all sorts of different things. Maybe he's into shoes and women's lingerie or something. And so he's in these different forums just talking all day long, right? But whenever it asks him for website, he's going to put in Tom's the plumber or whatever. So things to consider about what might be natural. Sometimes you can go, think outside the box a little bit. Then, is your time worth getting onto a forum like that? If the answer is you're really trying to manipulate things from search perspective, then niche relevance is going to be more worthwhile than the other stuff. Although you might be able to find some really high authority forums that would still be worthwhile to be on as well. But yeah, forum links overall are a great pillow style link. Chris and I talk about we really like forum links just in and of themselves.
All right, so we've got one more little question here. Can you let me know your thoughts on the helpful content update? Lots of people ask about updates these days, and it's completely understandable. They keep rolling out these updates, and lots of people are getting hit.
Yeah.
And it might not be the biggest hits for some of the sites, but I feel like, a lot of people are getting hit by it. So just first of all, know that you're not alone. And second of all, know that no one really knows yet. Everyone's still trying to kind of figure this stuff out. It's getting harder and harder to really dissect algorithm updates because they put so much into them, probably on purpose. Me and Nick were talking about this the other day. They have to. It would be very smart of them to do this on purpose because it confuses people like
Yeah,
us,
it
right?
makes you want to get out of the game too if you're not making any money, or you've given
Yeah,
all your time to SEO and then all of a sudden the 5 assets that you've built thinking you did a awesome job just tank. well, it's keeping you on your toes to a certain extent as well. And it's kind of funny because I'm never over there, but I was on SE ranking the other day looking up what blog comments were saying about this algo update. And yeah, it's interesting because over there, I feel like you get a perspective that's less, it's just more white hat people. And so, we're talking
Where was this at?
on
Sorry.
SE ranking on a post about this algo update. But especially in reading the blog comments, you can get a feel for, what like I consider to be the average SEO that gets online and,
Mm.
does SEO. Talking about having years in the SERPs, everything's going well, to especially the September update completely tanking sites that have historically done incredibly well. And then even these more white hat people were, complaining about things like parasite SEO doing well, or a lot less relevant, gaining traction in the SERPs as well. So, a good shakeup, if it lasts a couple months, it could really put a lot of people out, and then it gives Google kind of a refresh startup point, to keep moving from. So always keep that in your thoughts.
So I pulled up Google's notes on the helpful content update right over here, and we'll just kind of go through it real quick and say what we think about some of the stuff to let you know kind of what we think are most important things and just what we think about it. Um, so here, do you have an existing or intended audience for your business or site that would find the content useful if they came directly to you? So basically, you know, I don't know what I think about this. Is kind of confusing. So it's like, would they still read your stuff if you weren't just gaming the search engine and they're finding like your answers up there at the top, right?
Hmm.
So I think basically it's just like well-written content showing people that are like satisfied with your articles, I guess, right? And
Sure.
maybe you put out a good amount of information about the same topic. Um, does your content clearly demonstrate firsthand experience and depth of knowledge? I think this is like one of the most important ones, especially for affiliate marketers, because they kind of talked about the same thing in one of the other updates, I believe. I can't remember what it was called or what month it was in. It's all just blurring in my head. But
A
really,
lot of
it's
them.
just crazy. Like it just keeps coming, like one after the other.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, but yeah, demonstrating firsthand knowledge. I feel like it's such an important thing, but also an easy thing to do. And Nick is actually Nick had a site hit, and I think you're doing a bunch of stuff with this now, aren't you? You're going around and
Yeah, related to that, I'm adding some content from first person perspective. And then another thing was, I really liked having orphan pages that I was strategically using to push link juice from 301s, which I'm kind of adjusting that. And then I had a bunch of automated content, not AI generated writing like text, but content pulled using APIs, to do product showcases. And I think that's where I actually lost majority of my traffic. But also keep in mind that I was not even adding any content. It was like 200 words of text, then API generated content. And for
gotcha. So it's pretty
um,
thin of the net of the
yeah,
unique stuff.
yeah, and that was working for years, but then got popped. I mean, overnight, dropped, September update. So, I those are the three things that I've mainly been messing with. But it definitely more on page factors than off page is what I've noticed.
Yeah, I feel like as far as backlinks go, really not much has changed in a very long time.
It's kind of hard to imagine what they would change, right, at this point.
Yeah,
If
they would
anything,
just
yeah,
get
fine
better
tuning
at
the
it.
on
I
page.
don't know.
Hmm.
Just get like more picky about the links on it, I guess. But
But
yeah,
if since we got on the subject, it's like this is what Google does, and like they have to shake things up. There are only two things. Like if we think about top level variables that we are altering, it's on page and off page factors to websites to game their algorithm. there's a bunch of variables within those two topics that can be shifted, and they shift them all the time. But as soon as that um, becomes easy to game, right, then Google loses. So do you think, when we've talked about this before, do you think they're going to lose that way? No, they will play different strategies with the algorithm to shake things up, to fine tune, get them better. But especially when we see lower quality stuff ranking in SERPs that didn't have that historically, to me, it seems like a natural shakeup. Because then it really does, like Chris was saying, it confuses everybody that's involved in trying to game the system. Because ultimately, once enough people do understand, here's what we do for off page, here's how to keep it clean and tight, here's what we do for on page, it's perfect. Recourse action has to be a shakeup.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna try to get through this a little quickly because I think you gotta go pretty soon, don't you, Nick?
Yes.
But yeah, so rewrite your articles to add more stuff like you actually used the product or you did the thing, you ate at the restaurant. Like I did this, it was good. I liked it because this, I hated this. Instead of the XR92 has this. It is a fully fledged operational, just regurgitating stuff. Like don't do that. You need firsthand experience now or they see it as less valuable. Does your site have a primary purpose or focus? I find it, so this, you could say just topical relevance, write a bunch about the same topic, right? But then at the same time, it feels like they're not doing too good of a job of doing this one because, parasite SEO is still alive and well. So,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm kind of whatever on this one, but you should focus on topical authority, add a bunch of, stuff about the same topic. It's definitely a good idea. After reading your content, will someone leave feeling they've learned enough about the topic to achieve their goal? I see this as them potentially increasing the importance of a lower bounce rate. Basically, they don't want someone leaving your article quickly and going back to the search page and clicking on another result and reading that one instead. And I feel like Google has no choice but to eventually weight bounce rate much heavier. This is something I've been thinking about for a while. I see a lot of people saying bounce rate is bullshit. Bounce rate means nothing. I really see with all the AI content that's coming out and stuff now, I don't think Google has any choice but to weight bounce rate much higher moving forward. It's like what they do on YouTube, right? It's engagement. YouTube is all engagement metrics. Nothing, hardly anything else matters on YouTube. And so I feel like they're going to eventually have to move the same way on web search. But we'll see. But yeah, so basically, write good content, keep them on the page.
Yeah.
Someone reading your content, sorry?
Oh, no, and I was going to say there could be some weight to that within the last two algo updates, actually.
Well, yeah, this one. But I feel like people kind of blow it off.
Yeah, they do.
And
yeah, but
I think
there could be some truth to it right now, even just looking in analytics at different stuff.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I disagree, I guess. Are you
Plus, either way, why wouldn't you consider bounce rate as a pretty serious topic, It's one thing because a lot of times we think as SEOs, all right, our job is just to get rankings, but conversions matter too, especially like when you're trying to utilize these dollars, get ROI, and then keep rolling the projects, right? So build it right the first time if you can.
And I think one of the things they point to is that they're like, well, what about if it's just a short answer? Well, then the algo would have to differentiate between SERPs then, and it's not that hard. They already do that for other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So not every SERP has to have the same rules. The algos can treat different SERPs differently. So if it's just like, how much does Kim Kardashian weigh? They're going to bounce off your page very quickly. But if they bounce off everyone else's pages very quickly, the algorithm knows, oh, this is like this type of answer. It's a very short answer that they're looking for, and they're not going and looking at these other articles. So the quick bounce off is fine,
Plus,
right?
think about how easy that would be. It's, you've got your answer, and then you've got a YouTube video of Kim Kardashian doing something salacious. Boom, extra minute on time. Very simple, Little effort, low effort process, right?
So just do that. You could just add videos of Kim Kardashian on every one of your pages to keep
Yeah.
them on the pages
Ooh,
long.
I
This is
think
our
I'll click
advice
that.
for but title it something like related to your niche. So the video is about Kim Kardashian doing something salacious, but the title is like how to repair your BMW 3
Actually, I
Series or
don't
something.
I don't know if she illegally you can do that. So, we're gonna stay away. Don't use Kim Kardashian. But,
Whatever.
the idea.
All right. Are you keeping in mind our guidance for core blah blah blah? Avoid creating content for search engines first. Um, so yeah, I think a lot of this has to do with kind of, it seems like they're kind of looking at AI content or just mass generated content that is just that it's hitting all the things, but it's just not good content, right? Um, Again, they mentioned, are you producing content on lots of different topics instead of maybe the just a more focused topic? Extensive automation, so AI. Um, are you mainly summarizing what others have to say without adding much value? This one's interesting because normally, when you're writing stuff, we look at all the other articles and we say, well, this is what I need to write about.
Hmm.
But I guess they're looking. I don't know how they're measuring this, but they're telling us right now that they want us a little bit more than just what other people have said. So I guess you have to bring a little something else to the table. Could be a good idea. Which in the real world, if you're basing if Google's algorithm was doing a good job, this would be something you would actually want. You wouldn't want every article to be the same, which is what has been going on for the past couple of years now, at least, right?
Hmm.
Um, with people really just sticking to this kind of tactic. But that's not what people want. We want choices, and each choice should have something different that it's bringing to the table rather than just the same exact thing. But that's interesting. I don't know how much weight I put behind this one quite yet, but it's not really something that's too difficult to do. Um, are you writing a topics only because they're trending? Okay, so it's again kind of like topical authority type thing. Does your content leave readers feeling like they need to search again? I've kind of already talked about that. Are you writing a particular word count because you've read that Google has a preferred word count? This is interesting. So it's like kind of a shot at tools like Surfer and stuff. Um, yeah, I guess so. Don't do the exact word count as other ones. I don't really know. I don't really put too
It's
much weight on this one myself, but
it's funny because reading these things, it
it's
sounds
just like
like
it's
it
way
sounds like a
geared at SEO.
mother saying, "This is what you don't do, you hear?
We
Yeah,
know
this
what
is
you're
what you don't
doing.
do." But then what you have to do as an SEO, especially if you're gaming the system, is think like a robot. So how does this right here get written into an algorithm that's definitive in giving the, best end result to whoever's searching? Um, if it's something that's really difficult to imagine a robot that thinks A or B, like they don't have sentient thought right now, it's not there, A or B, um, then I don't know. It's going to be something that's really hard to quantify.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, that's our answer for that. Hopefully that helps. Guys, Nick's got to go somewhere soon. Hey, BB, what's up? Um, chocolate cake. I need some chocolate cake.
Mm.
Um, Nick's got to go soon, so we're gonna have to take off in a minute. I'll try to get to a couple of these other questions real quick. Is that all right, Nick? Do you have
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah. Go
minute or
ahead. No,
two?
no, no, that's
We'll
fine.
try to go real fast
Yeah, we're good.
because we kind of neglected these poor folks today. Um, I guess this is a very quick answer. Does date and URL influence ranking in SEO Google SERP? I would say yes, absolutely. Which is why it's not a good idea. Oh, I don't like putting dates in the URL. What do you think about that, Nick?
I don't put dates anywhere. I omit them from WordPress and I don't have them in the URL. The only place it might make sense is for like a news-based website.
What if you change the URL and like 301 what if every year you like changed it to the new year and 301 the old URL to the new URL?
People do that.
Yeah.
I just yeah, I've never been into putting the year on. And maybe if I'm being honest, the main reason is because I'm too lazy to want to think about having to go back and edit, what is at some point in time a tremendous amount of pages.
And yeah, it would be a ton of work, especially when you do like the 301s and then like every year you're like 301ing,
Yeah.
301ing more and
Yeah.
more. It'd just be such a freaking mess. I would much prefer just to do it like if you were gonna do it, just do it like in the
Yeah.
title and the H1
Plus,
maybe.
what do you
And
think?
you could get a VA to like change that like pretty quickly, just once a year, go through the site. Unless you have like a massive site, that'd be a huge pain, but it could be worth it depending on the niche and just how competitive it is and how much people are searching for the year specifically. But I don't think I'd do it
But it's
so much
like,
in the
for
URL.
any kind of yearly recurring thing, it's like, okay, holiday special 2022. Like, isn't holiday special, if somebody searched for holiday special 2022, holiday special in like searching in 2022, I imagine they're going to get the same search results. I could be wrong depending on the niche there, but
I think it just depends on the
um,
SERP, depends on the, yeah, it depends on the SERP. BB says, what's the plugin that changes date and headline? I saw it somewhere, but I forgot. I don't know if there is one
WP
though.
remove date and author.
Okay. But yeah, if there's some other one that changes makes it all easier, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it's not something I do. Um, the, just date and URL. Great, thank you. This is another short and easy one. Is the .download extension good for SEO? Yeah, we don't have any preference for like any TLD as far as SEO goes. We think they can all be fine. I think the biggest consideration to make would be how users are going to feel about it. And I think with all these new TLDs that are out right now, especially like the older generation, they are more wary of them. They kind of think it's kind of, I don't know, scammy or something.
Yeah.
Um, but that would be pretty much the only consideration I would take in. Like, Sir Links-a-Lot, we're .co, which is actually Colombian, but you see a lot of kind of like tech or other sites using .co's. Another one, a lot of tech sites use like .io. There's a bunch of cool stuff. And if your website really revolves around like downloading things, then I think it's actually like really cool and it could be like a strong kind of like branding signal. And you also have to take into account that when you're building backlinks to an extension like that, like if it's the dot download, you're essentially kind of building this relevance as well. Whenever someone is giving you an anchor URL, so also something kind of cool you can play around with if that's something you like to do. Um, Anything else to say on that one, Nick?
No, I think that's about it.
Cool. Let's see what else we got. Promote me, please, for experimental science. I,
What?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Where's that one on YouTube?
Yeah. Promote me, please, for experimental science. I'm not sure. I'm
Science.
not sure what you mean, Mr. Everything.
Mr. Everything Experiments. I'm gonna search this
It
guy
might just be
and then
spam that we're
it's
getting
gonna
because we had that
be
other spam we got today
high
too.
high possibility.
BB asks, what's the
Oh,
funniest
cool. Oh,
TLD combo you've seen? I don't know. My brain is shot right now. We've been doing audits all stream, so I can't think of anything past like my nose right now.
wait, what was the where what?
BB
What's
asked,
the funniest TLD
yeah,
combo
like
you've seen?
domain and TLD combo.
Nothing's coming off at the top of my head right now. I know I've seen some funny stuff, especially, in more obscure niches. But it's been a while since we've had something like that come up.
All right, I think I have
I
one
don't
more
know, I'll have to
here,
think.
and then we'll let Nick go. Um, Thank you so much for the answer. And exactly, does it make sense to talk in first person in content, keeping in mind that I'm not affiliate marketer, but use AdSense to monetize? This is regarding to helpful content update. I think it's going to really depend on the type of content you're writing. If it's something where there, so like for example, if it's like about like history or something, or like the specifications of something, like a super like informational article, then it might not make sense to write in first person like that. But when you're talking about like, product reviews, maybe some kind of type of like travel blog, or you visited places or hotels or restaurants, thing like that. Um, yeah, I think they're really it would be a good idea to start doing this kind of thing more. I don't know how heavily they weigh this stuff, but I think with the hard on that Google has for affiliates in this type of a way to make money online right now, it would be good to do what they say on this one, and to um, write from firsthand experience if it makes sense at all. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mainly as far as what I've seen this last update, we're auditing review sites that have been hit by it. But I'm trying to think because like if it's like it's really going to depend on the article and what the purpose of it is. Because I could think of like historical informational articles where it wouldn't make sense to speak in first person. But again, remember thinking like a robot, it's all about how they're injecting this into the algorithm, which I can't, give you too much information on, to be honest, at this point in time.
But yeah, good idea when possible, I think is the short answer. All right, this is for real the last question, guys. We got to go after this one. But yeah, thanks for showing up. Um, what if I build pillow links from the same domains regularly? Obviously, the page URLs of the links would be unique, but I wonder if having links from the same domains would negatively affect rankings. I wouldn't say it'll negatively affect rankings. For example, if you got 10 links from CNN on 10 different articles, would it be bad for you? And I don't think anyone would be upset about getting like, oh no, I got another link from CNN. Um, but in
Are you saying
general,
pillow links?
yeah, but I'm just saying,
Oh
repeat
yeah.
links from domains are not necessarily a bad thing,
No.
but do they have as much value? Um, I would say in a perfect world, it'd be better to be getting links from unique domains, right? So instead of, I wouldn't say it'll have a negative effect on your rankings, but what I would do is, if at all possible, I would find different sites to build pillow links on. I'm also wondering how many pillow links you're building that you don't have more site options to build them on. Like maybe you're building like Web 2.0s or something, and you like using the same Web 2.0s over and over again. I'm not really sure. But like for example, like in the pillow links packs that we sell, or the diversity links packs that we sell, they come with 30 and 20 links in each of those packs. But we have more options than just that 30 or 20. So if someone was to order, a pillow link pack 1 month, and a couple months later they order another one, on and on and on, we would give them different links each month to just hit different domains instead of it all being the same domain. So when at all possible, new domains definitely better, but doing it on the same domains won't hurt your rankings. I would just say it's probably not as good for you. Got anything to say on that one, Nick?
I mean, well, yeah, on, in consideration to links from the same domains, if they're like more authority, then that's fine. But like if we conceptualize pillow links, and like what majority are, a lot are going to be like directory citations, things like that, right? Maybe even blog comments,
Audio,
forum
video
topics,
sites,
etc. Yeah.
slideshows,
Um,
Q&A.
so, you've got to think about it from what kind of pillow links you're getting, and whether it makes sense to have multiple, like if you're getting citations and you're getting the same citations with the same information every month, it's going to be spammy. Same as the last two sites that we audited. It looked like they were doing link blasts, like the same type of link blast with different anchors, right? From the same pillow style links, but all trash links. So if you're talking about from an angle of you go to a link vendor that sells more pillow style links, and you're just ordering the same pillow links with different anchors and targets all the time, it definitely can be bad for your site.
Yeah, if you're doing like kind of
Um,
like a spam type thing. But I'm
yeah,
thinking about him like doing it himself, and he's like, I don't know, got a couple sites that he like, for example,
I
like
I
maybe he builds like
automatically,
Quora links or something,
yeah,
or like
maybe. When I
YouTube
read this, I
links.
thought
Or
Fiverr, right out of the gate.
I was
So,
assuming he was doing it himself, but I could be wrong. But yeah, like Nick's saying, like if you're buying these and like they're doing these huge blasts and they're like using the same sites over and over and over again, and especially if you're doing it with like repeated anchors and stuff, then yeah, it can definitely be a bad thing.
Yeah.
So I guess a little bit depends on what exactly you've got going on, what exactly you're
Yeah.
doing. Um, but yeah, if you're not doing these like kind of spammy link blasts and you're using like natural anchors and stuff, I don't think you have anything really to worry about. But you'd still probably want to, hit as many unique domains as possible instead
Yeah.
of just doing always the same stuff. And less,
Diversifying
and
is
less,
always better.
yeah, and less automation is definitely better than more. I'm not really sure what you're doing, but maybe that'll help you in some way. All right, guys. Thanks for showing up. We were unfortunately not able to get to all of the audits today. I kind of expected that to happen because it takes so long to audit and it's hard to kind of just cut them off fast and
Hmm.
not go in depth as much as we do. So hopefully you appreciate that. But the guys that we didn't get to this time, we'll definitely get to you next time, or we'll try to. And there was someone else, they actually left a site for us to audit that was not theirs. They said the site has 280 articles and 1 million traffic and wants to know what they're doing. And I'm actually really excited about this one. So we have this on the
I,
list, and we will do this one next time as well. And yeah, I'm really excited about that one because we actually get to show you what we're looking at rather than the normal site audits where we can't really show you anything other than the rank graph or whatever, just out of
yeah.
privacy concerns. So yeah, definitely come back next week, same time, same place, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesday. Thanks for showing up, guys. Also, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Join us on Facebook, SEO Roundtable. We're in the group every single day, answering questions and posting tips and yada, yada, yada. All right, guys. Thanks, and we'll see you next